Let us look at a rose, which is a compound flower. A compound flower is a combination of many simple flowers. We have learnt about structures of a simple flower. A simple flower has male and female reproductive parts, and a compound flower is a combination of many simple flowers. So here are structures of a simple flower. The male part with the tip called the anther, which carries pollen, and the thread-like filament below. And here is the female part, which is called a carpel or a pistil. The tip is stigma, then a tube-like style below that, and then the swollen ovary having many ovules or raw seeds. So all these are contained inside simple flowers, but in a compound flower we will find a large number of simple flowers. A compound flower is like a bunch. So let's try looking at a rose. Here in the center we find a lot many small female tips. So lot many females are there, and then surrounded by a lot many males. So if we cut a rose vertically in half in a section, we are able to see this. So here in a section we see a large number of female tips or stigmas together. Then their tubes are joined below, which is written as styles, so many tubes below, and then many ovaries below them which are joined together. So all of them joined together to make one single structure, but it is multiple females. And this is surrounded by a large number of males which have their anthers and filaments, their tips, and then their thread-like structures. So here is one compound flower carrying a large number of simple flowers inside. It is like a bunch, and a flower does this to save on its expenses on various parts. Here's another compound flower which has a disc in the center, and this disc has a large number of very tiny flowers, simple flowers, which are called disc florets. And on the side, outside, there are many of these petal-like structures which are themselves a flower each, called ray florets. If we open this up, we can separate out disc florets and ray florets. So in the center, many disc florets are arranged in a disc, and on the sides the ray florets are arranged. So we can see disc florets here, and here is one ray floret which has a petal-like visible structure. So soon we will try understanding these florets, which show the reproductive parts of simple flowers, though very tiny and often hard to see, but we will be able to see some if we see diagrams. So here's a disc with lot many disc florets arranged here, and then on the sides there are ray florets, also seen in the flower on the side. So a disc in the and with a lot many disc florets and ray florets. So here is a disc floret. The top is a female tip or stigma, below which it has a female tube which goes inside, reaching the ovary below. So from top to bottom, the female is deepest inside. Then it is surrounded by a tube made by anthers or male tips. So male tips are joined together in a tube, a dark colored tube, which goes inside, and then there is corolla or the petals fused together. So this is the total disc floret. Here's a ray floret which with corolla or petal. Then here's the female tip, the female tube, and going down to the ovary below. Here we can see marigold, the ray floret and disc floret. Here very clearly visible is the anthers or male parts fused together as a dark tube. And here is on the top the female tip. So we are able to see some of these parts which we saw in a simple flower inside compound flowers also. So here, as we can see, many parts in a disc floret, many in the ray floret. Some may not be visible, but some are visible. So corolla is visible, then there's ovary, but we cannot see the female tip in this one. But here the female tip is visible very clearly, then male tips are visible, the petals are visible, and then the ovary is visible. Similarly here we can see many parts clearly here in the ray floret. So here again we have ray florets of one flower and disc florets of the same flower. Here again ray florets and disc florets showing many of the parts we learnt about: the female tip, then the male tips, the female tip, and the male tips, and this is the petal. Here also petals are fused together and there is ovary below. So that's how these simple flowers are arranged in a compound flower as a huge